question 13, fully factorise this expression. So the first thing I can see in this expression is there is a c that's common in both terms. So I can take the c outside and then I get c squared minus d squared inside the bracket. Now that's factorised, but two clues that tell you there's more to this. Fully factorise and 3 marks. So that means I must be able to factorise this bit in the bracket, and this is one of those common difference of two squares questions that people don't spot. I've got a takeaway and I've got two terms that are both squared. That means that I can factorise that into two brackets, one positive, one negative. Square root of c squared is c, square root of d squared is d. Part B, factorise and simplify the following expression. There are two ways of doing this. The first way is to expand everything and then simplify it. So that's the most common approach. So e minus 1 times by another e minus 1 and then plus, and I'll expand that bracket straight away, 3e minus 3. So I'm going to have to expand this using FOIL and times it by 5. So I end up with, let's do the FOIL first, e squared minus e minus another e plus 1. And don't forget the plus 3e minus 3 on the end. Then times by 5, 5e squared minus e minus another e is minus 2e, which when I times by 5 is minus 10e, and then plus 5, and then plus 3e minus 3. Then I can collect like terms. 5e squared minus 10e plus 3e is minus 7e, plus 5 minus 3 is plus 2. And then I would have to factorise this using numbers that add and numbers that times. They'd have to add to make minus 7 and times to make 10. Two numbers that do that, 5 and 2. They're either going to have to be both positive or both negative, and in this case they've both got to be negative to get to minus 7 and make the 10. Split the middle term, 5e squared minus 5e minus 2e plus 2. Factorise the start, so I've got 5e common, and then I get e minus 1. Common in here I've got 2, and then I'm going to get e minus 1 again, so I'm left with 5e minus 2 as one bracket and the repeated bracket of e minus 1 as the other one, and that is that factorised. Now in part A I told you to look at the clues of fully and 3 marks. In this question all of that is worth 2 marks. Now that appears to be an awful lot of work to do for just 2 marks. There is an alternative method that is much quicker but a little bit more obscure to recognise. So if I consider straight away the question, 5 bracket e minus 1 squared plus 3 bracket e minus 1. If I think about these as 2 separate terms, I already have this e minus 1 bracket that's in both terms. So I can put e minus 1 outside of a new bracket, and then what would I have to times this by to get 5e minus 1 all squared? Well, I'm going to have to times by 5, and I'm also going to have to times by the other e minus 1 bracket. And then what am I going to times e minus 1 by to get 3 lots of e minus 1? Just by 3. And then this square bracket I can tidy up inside here. 5 times e is 5e. 5 times minus 1 is minus 5, and plus 3 on the end. And I can carry on tidying this up, which gives me 5e minus 2, and don't forget the e minus 1 bracket that was there all along, and that gives us the same answer but obviously gets to 2 marks considerably quicker.